Welcome to Gaming Rarities. I'm Dan. Thank you so much for clicking and for watching. I hope you're doing okay. And today we have a brand new episode of the CEX Rarities Review. Now, I did talk about it before, and I will continue to put the best comment from the previous episode in the intro for this episode. Yeah, you are right. If CEX was to shut overnight, I'd have a big problem. I'd be very emotional for a start. And once I'd pulled myself up from the pool of tears that I'd be in, I think I'd probably try and start a shop because they would leave a massive hole in the market, surely, right? But yeah, CEX is life, and I would be absolutely devastated if it was to end. Ooh, I'm not even going to think about that anymore. Today we have two stores visited, one brand new, the Bournemouth store in Bournemouth City Centre, their main one, and Thetford store, which is actually my local store, the one I go to the most. Yeah, so I'm going to try and stay kind of neutral when I grade it, but it's going to be a struggle. But up first today is Bournemouth on the south coast. Let's go and have a look and see what they had. So walking up to the window in the Bournemouth store, we have some N64 carts to start with. There is an Earthworm Jim 2 on the Mega Drive. One of my absolute favourites, Earthworm Jim on the Mega Drive. Classic, although sun damage seems to be an issue. Obviously been in the window for a while. There's a boxed green Game Boy Color there as well. Let's head inside and look at the retro section. So we've got some PS2 rareness there. A lot of PS1 games, classics, some good ones in there. And we head up to some Pokemon on the DS, bit of Nintendo cardboard, some Dreamcast there, a few Mega Drive games, some big hitters there. But let's head over to the shelves. So we've got in the PS4 section a Call of Duty Infinite Warfare Steelbook for the regular price. Looks very good. And then I found a few sleeves. So here is a sleeve for Evolve, one I see quite often. And Formula 1 games as well, they often seem to have sleeves. There was a couple in here too. And a CEX wouldn't be a CEX without at least one Hitman Steelbook somewhere. So this is the one I found. Also want to draw your attention to the shelves because we'll talk about those in a minute. So down here I found Yakuza Kiwami on the PS4. I didn't pick this one up because I do actually own it already, so I left that one behind. But yeah, still a nice one to see. So we had a little shot of the store here. It's one of the conventional kind of long and thin stores. Behind the counter there, they did have a sealed Secret Agent Clank. It was mint condition according to them. It was £120 at the time. This was a little while back now, so I did post about it in the CEX Retro Watch at the time. I'm pretty sure it sold fairly quickly. So yeah, that was the Bournemouth store. Just the one pickup, which you can probably guess was the first one we saw. And it was Call of Duty Infinite Warfare Steelbook for just £3. Can't argue with that, with the sleeve and in excellent condition. Was never going to leave that behind for that price. A beautiful all round. But let's talk about the Bournemouth store and give them a score. So for full clarity, I had to wait for them to open. That's how early I was. I was then about to drive back home and I'd stayed overnight, and then I just wanted to quickly visit that one and before I went. So I was there for doors, first one through the door when they opened the shutter, and you saw the state of some of those shelves. They had been pushed around. There was games in wrong bits. I don't know if I got full footage, but I was quite shocked at how bad they looked, to be honest. There was just it all tipped over. It didn't look very pleasant at all. And I know that it hadn't happened throughout the day. You know, you can't blame them if you go later in the day and customers have messed them about. I know they do that, and I know they wouldn't have knocked them over themselves, but it doesn't take much to kind of prop them back up again, especially when the store's shut. But I'm sure they're very busy. Obviously made one purchase, but yeah, staff were okay. I don't know, I just got kind of a negative vibe from this store, really, in general. It was just not great. I didn't enjoy it. I didn't feel like I wanted to be there. It was, yeah, just staff made me feel not great either. It was just, yeah, not a pleasant experience, really. And for that reason, they're going to get a 6 out of 10. Now, the next store we're going to visit today is Thetford. Now, as I said at the start, this is my local store. I go here quite often. Over the years, I have found lots of things, many things. but I'm just going to show you whatever I found on the one day I visited and filmed it, and here it is. So walking up to the window, they never really have anything in the window. It's not a very big window. All the retro is inside. So heading in, we have some Mega Drive stuff there. A couple of bits of Nintendo cardboard, Sega Saturn game. Got some carts, PS2 rareness, and then the PS1 section. Not a huge amount in terms of retro this time, but let's head over to the shelves. In the PS4 section, they've had this for such a long time, this dirt steelbook. I see it all the time, but it's in bad condition, no sleeve. Price keeps changing, but yeah, can't pick that up in that condition without the sleeve. Heading over to the Xbox section where a lot of the action was today. Stalker 2 steelbook here, in excellent condition. And then I found this Tekken 8 sleeve, the launch edition. They also had Halo Infinite steelbook there for the regular price. Down the bottom here, I found this Hitman 2 steelbook. So not the Hitman that we see all the time, Hitman 2 on the Xbox One here. Not one you see too often, actually, this one. Over to the PS2 section where they had the Scarface steelbook. Quite a big price, £40, and quite big to just be sat on the shelf as well. But here it was, not in the best condition. Other side of the glass cabinet, there was some Xbox 360 stuff, a couple of rarities, and the Bourne Conspiracy kind of steelbook tin thing here. Heading over to PS3 land, there was the Prototype 2 sleeve. Talking of sleeves, they also had this Assassin's Creed Brotherhood sleeve. And lastly, for today, on the PS4, I found this big box Wolfenstein New Order. And that was the Thetford store. Yeah, obviously my local. 3 pickups from there. This time we found the Hitman 2 steelbook on the Xbox One. This, I'm sure, would have had a sleeve, but it is in excellent condition. There's not a mark on this steelbook. It's lovely. And not one I see too often, so I picked this one up. It does have Hitman 2 on the spine, and it is more of a tin than a steelbook. It has that kind of weird kind of hinges on the spine here. So, yeah, had to pick it up for £8, regular price, picked it up. Then I grabbed this Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. It's the Da Vinci edition with this cardboard sleeve here, just £1, same as the regular game. Can't leave cardboard there for £1, can I? Yeah, had to pick it up. I don't think I've seen it before, maybe, I don't know, but yeah, had to pick it up. And the last pickup today was Wolfenstein The New Order, £6 the regular price for this kind of big box edition. People collecting these nowadays? I don't know, I see people having these kind of big box ones on their shelves. I feel like I see this one quite often, but yeah, I don't own it, so I picked it up, £6, decent price for some big box cardboard. So that was the pickups from Thetford on this visit. Now, when it comes to giving them a score, I need to talk about how they do things there, because I go there regularly, as I said. They are advocates for doing exactly how the company should do things. They always do things by the book. Yes, it might take a long time sometimes. Yes, it might be, detrimental to the customer sometimes, when they have to do things the way they should. For example, if I take a return back there, every single time they call the store up, sent it from, ask for pictures, whatever, if necessary. They don't just refund it there and then. It's always a process, but that's the process they should be doing. I know other stores don't do that. Many other stores don't do that. They don't bother, but that's the way it should be. That's how the company wants things done, and that's how they do it. They are always short-staffed. Again, not their fault, but I know they've lost some staff recently too, and they're not happy with the higher-ups, should I say, because they're not funding more staff for them, and it's tough, and I get it. But saying that, it's always clean, it's always well presented, it never smells horrible, it's always being run properly, I feel. Yeah, it can be chaos in there behind the counter sometimes because they have so much stuff traded in and they got nowhere to put it because it's a space issue. But all out of their hands, I genuinely feel like the staff are excellent there, top notch every single time, especially on this occasion. No problems, quick in and out. Yeah, can't really fault it really. For that reason, I'm going to give Thetford a 9.5 out of 10. So that was the CEX Rarities review. I hope you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you did. Leave a comment if you want to perhaps be featured in the intro for the next episode. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.